Hello students, today we will study an important topic of class 12 biology concerned with sexual reproduction in flowering plants, and that is pollen pistil interaction. So the pollen landing on stigma, it might depend, and the process further might depend upon two things: whether the stigma is compatible with pollen or is incompatible with pollen. If the pollen and pistil are compatible with each other, what will happen? Let's draw a figure first. Okay, this way. So that's the figure for you. Let's draw this one first. This structure first. And then it is the turn of this structure. Now let us make this one. Three here, two, this one, and these are the micro finger like structure. This one is a finger like structure. Okay, now the pollen tube arrives here and goes here. Okay, and let's see use this. So this is the micropyle end. This is the micropyle, and this was the chalazal end. We find here through synergids and one egg cell. This is the egg cell. This is the egg cell. This is the egg cell, and these are two synergids. These are two synergids. These are two synergids. These are two synergids. This is the egg cell here, and this one is the polar nuclei. Polar nuclei. These are three antipodals. This is the pollen tube, and so a pollen tube. So pollen grain entering. So if both of them are compatible, if pollen and pistil, or you can say the stigma, both are compatible, what will happen? Pistil will accept pollen. Pistil has accepted pollen, and a pollen tube is made. Pollen tube formed, A pollen tube has been formed. This pollen tube reaches ovary. This pollen tube reaches ovary. From the ovary it moves into the ovule. From the ovary it moves into the ovule through the filiform, through the micropyle, that the small opening, and that it's through the filiform apparatus, this one finger like apparatus, or you can say this finger like apparatus, they enter into the synergids. Okay, so what happens if both of them are compatible with each other? Pistil then accepts pollen grains, pollen tube is formed, and it goes into the ovary. From the ovary it lands into the ovule, and through the micropyle, through the this is a small opening. So this one, so that's a small opening. So we have a small opening micropyle, so it enters there. Then through the filiform apparatus it enters into the synergids, and finally what happens? Fertilization occurs. But if both pollen and pistil, if both pollen and pistil are not compatible, that means they are incompatible, then what will happen? Pistil will reject pollen, pollen tube growth will be prevented, pollen tube growth has been prevented, and fertilization will not occur. So if both of them are incompatible, what happened? Pistil will reject pollen, pollen tube will not be formed, and there will be no fertilization. So what is pollen pistil interaction? Pollen pistil interaction. So all the events from the deposition of pollen, on stigma till the entry of pollen tube into the ovule, these are collectively known as pollen pistil interactions, and it is a dynamic process. It is a dynamic process and depends on pollen recognition or pollen inhibition. Pollen recognition, how pollen are recognized, and if they are recognized, if they are promoted or inhibited by inhibition or formation of pollen. So what is pollen pistil interaction? The events from the deposition of pollen on the stigma, deposition of pollen on the stigma till the entry of pollen tube into the ovule is pollen pistil interaction, and it is a dynamic process. What does it involve? Pollen recognition. If the pollen is recognized by inhibition or promotion of pollen. If the compatibility is there it is promoted. If compatibility is not there, it is inhibited. So let's discuss about artificial hybridization. So it is a process. Artificial hybridization is a process. What happens here? Here only desired pollen grain is used for pollination and fertilization. It is the process in which only desired pollen, only the desired pollen is used for pollination and fertilization. So the process through which only desired pollen is used for pollination and fertilization is known as artificial hybridization, and it is generally used by plant breeders. For crop improvement program, program, and it is achieved by following methods. Artificial hybridization is achieved by following methods. What are those methods? First one is emasculation, and second one is bagging. Emasculation, second one is bagging. What happens here? The anther is removed. The anther is removed from the bud. The anther is removed from the bud before it dehisces. Before the dehiscence, what happens? Anther is removed from the bud with a pair of forceps. With a pair of forceps. So what happens here? Emasculation. Anther is removed from the bud before it dehisces, before dehiscence, using forceps. And it is mainly done when the female parent bears bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers. So anther emasculation. What happens emasculation? In the process of anther is removed using by forceps before it dehisces. The anther is removed from the bud with a pair of forceps before it dehisces, and it is mainly done when the female parent bears bisexual flowers. What happens in bagging? The emasculated flower, it is covered by a bag of suitable size. Generally the bag is made up of butter paper, so as to stop contamination of stigma by undesired pollen. So what is bagging? In this process, the emasculated flower is covered by a bag, suitable bag, which is generally made up of butter paper, so as to stop contamination of stigma by unwanted or undesired pollen. And what happens later when the stigma becomes receptive? The collected pollen grains are dusted on the stigma, and the flower is again rebagged, and fruits are allowed to develop. So what happens in bagging? The emasculated flower is now covered with a suitable bag or bag of suitable size, generally made up of butter paper, so that the stigma is not contaminated by unwanted pollen. When the stigma of bagged flower becomes receptive, the collected pollen grains are dusted onto the stigma. The flower is rebagged and the fruits are allowed to develop. But in case the flower present is unisexual, then the process of emasculation is not necessary. In this case, the female bud is directly bagged when stigma becomes receptive, and when the stigma becomes let's discuss this in another way. Unisexual, when the flowers are, or when the female parent is unisexual, emasculation is not necessary. Why it is not necessary? Because the flower is unisexual here, only one unisexual. In this case, flower bud is directly bagged. Flower bud is directly bagged. Here, if the female plant is unisexual, what will happen? Emasculation is not necessary. Here the female bud is directly bagged, and when the stigma becomes receptive, pollen grains are dusted on it, and so germination takes place and the flowers are rebagged. So when the flowers are unisexual, what happens? Flowers are unisexual, then what happens? Emasculation is not necessary. In this case, female bird is directly bagged. When the stigma becomes receptive, then pollen grains are dusted on it so that germination follows and the flowers are rebagged. So what is double fertilization? Let's discuss this one. So what is double fertilization? Let's make a figure first. Let's make a figure first. Just draw this one in this manner. Filiform apparatus. These are the synergids. This is the egg cell here, and polar nuclei. And we have here the, let's join this one. So this is the chalazal end. This is the micropylar end. This is the filiform apparatus. Which guides the pollen tube into the synergids. These are synergids. This is the egg cell or egg. These are polar nuclei. It is surrounded by a central cell here. Central cell. And these are antipodals. Now let us discuss the double fertilization. This was first demonstrated by Navas-Chin in Lilium and Fritillaria. This was first discovered by Navas-Chin in Lilium and Fritillaria in 1898. So the most important characteristic of angiosperms, what is it? It is the fact that both male and female gametes participate in it in the act of fertilization. The pollen tube releases two male gametes. The pollen tube releases two male gametes into the cytoplasm of synergids. The cytoplasm of synergids, the pollen tube enters through the filiform apparatus. Then that penetrated synergids, it starts to degenerate. The penetrated synergids starts to degenerate, and one male gamete fuses with the egg cell, and forms zygote and forms zygote. This zygote further develops into embryo or a sporophyte, whatever it is. The second male gamete it fuses with the two polar nuclei. Before this, the two polar nuclei have fused and they have formed the secondary nucleus, that is n plus n equal to 2n. So now one of the male gametes fuses with the secondary nucleus. So triple fusion takes place. So there is double fertilization. If the fusion takes place, this is double fertilization. One fertilization had occurred earlier. This one is double fertilization, and triple fusion takes place. Due to the triple fusion, what happens? Three haploid nuclei are involved. Triple fusion hai. After triple fusion, what happens? The central cell becomes PEN. The central cell becomes PEN. What is meant by PEN? PEN, the primary endosperm cell. Primary endosperm cell. And this primary endosperm cell gives rise to what? Gives rise to endosperm. So this PEN gives rise to endosperm. That has happened. And the zygote develops into the embryo. We have studied that. As both the fusions, syngamy and triple fusion, the first one was syngamy and the triple fusion occurs in the embryo sac. So it is known as double fertilization. So what happens? The pollen tube releases pollen grain and it moves into the synergids to the filiform apparatus. What happens now? The degenerated the penetrated synergid becomes degenerated, and one of them fuses with the egg cell. That fusion leads to fertilization, formation of zygote, and zygote further develops into embryo. Now another one, and what had happened earlier here, the polar nuclei has fused with each other, and as a result of a secondary nucleus was formed. N plus n equal to twice n. Already had two nucleus. So secondary nucleus are formed. One of the pollen grain here fuses with the secondary nucleus. So double fertilization had took place, and twice n plus n, thrice n, that means triple fusion has taken place. After the triple fusion, what happens? The central cell becomes primary endosperm cell, and the primary endosperm cell gives rise to endosperm. So we all know the tubules convert into seeds and ovary into fruits. So with this we have come to the end of this particular topic. We will continue with this particular topic in the next video. Till then, keep enjoying my videos and do subscribe them and like and share them.